What is up, comic fam, and welcome to the Legion of Comics. I'm Mark, and today we're going to be taking an in-depth look at the first appearance of Blade in the Legion of Comics' first ever comic book close-up. But first, check this out. All right, so today we're going to be taking a look at the first appearance of one of Marvel's most recognizable characters. Now, this character has been all over different sorts of media for a long time now, and that's none other than Blade the Vampire Slayer. So you might know him from TV, from the big screen, or from comic books themselves. So let's take a look at where he started and where he's been, as well as an in-depth look at his first appearance. So Blade first came out in Tomb of Dracula, issue number 10, in July of 1973. He was created by none other than Marv Wolfman, who was writing the book at the time, who for me is most known for his work on Teen Titans and Crisis on Infinite Earths with DC Comics. But he created him along with Gene Colan, the artist at the time, who was doing the pencils on it. And Gene Colan was really well known for his Daredevil run, or co-creating the Falcon, which was Marvel's first black superhero. So that was like a huge deal at the time. And he also created Carol Danvers, also known as Captain Marvel. So over the years, Blade was kind of stagnant in comics, but he made a huge splash on the big screen back in 1998 with one of Marvel's first breakout movies, which was none other than Blade, starring Wesley Snipes. And it did so well that it came back for not just a second film in 2002, but a third film in 2004 that also starred Ryan Reynolds in one of his early Marvel film debuts, which he's been in numerous superhero movies now, best known for his role as Deadpool currently. But Blade didn't stop there. The hype from those movies kept on, and he actually moved down to the small screen in a TV show in 2006. I think it came on like Spike TV or something weird, starring a hip-hop artist by the name of Sticky Fingers as the lead character. It only ran him for like one season, though. But he did go on to have a short anime run in 2011, and he did make numerous appearances over the years on the smaller kids shows like Spider-Man in the 90s or Unlimited Spider-Man a few years after that. So he's been all over the place. But at this point, let's actually take a look at the comic that started it all. And let's take it page by page. So check this out. Like I mentioned, today we're going to take a look inside the actual book to look at the actual first appearance of Blade the Vampire Hunter, or as he was known as when he first appeared, Blade the Vampire Slayer. So Blade first appeared in Tomb of Dracula, issue number 10. So as you see, he was featured in nice fashion on the cover, talking parts, pronouncing his name, all that good stuff. Some of the big markers that we look for today is in first appearances. Did they get a full page spread? Were they called by name? Did they have a speaking part? So like he pretty much rolls out a complete first appearance on the cover itself. So when you get into the first page of the book, right at the top, it already gives you the name of this specific story. His name is Blade. So he's even featured in the title of the story. Stan Lee presents Tomb of Dracula. His name is Blade. So it starts out with a couple running away to America to get married and getting stalked by three vampires. And these three vampires, oddly enough, identify themselves as Dracula's Legion. So hashtag Dracula, we are Legion. So quickly they get foiled by none other than Blade himself, who gets a large panel, full body shot and talking part. So he rolls out in epic fashion. Like they were really just bringing him straight to the forefront. They weren't really dabbling around with him. He did get a talking part in the panel right before his main rollout, just warning the vampires to let them go. And he comes in strong, comes in real strong. He just immediately starts attacking. He kills one vampire who stumbled over some boxes, just snuck up behind him, stabbed him right away, got the other one. And one thing I do want to point out that's cool is at the bottom of these pages, across the bottom, are advertisements for other Marvel books coming out that time period. So this one says to the Incredible Hulk, worshipped as a god. And then down here, you better believe it, all new Hulk, number 165. So that's pretty cool, on sale now. So across the bottom of this whole book, pretty much, it's advertising for other comics, which I think is really neat. So Blade continued on. We had a vampire try to turn into a bat and get away, but it even mentions how he wasn't even quick enough for Blade, who gets him in the underbelly right there. So then some friends of Blade show up and kind of scowl him for taking out these vampires because they were going to lead this other crew to Dracula once and for all. And Blade basically tells him to get off his back. You've had years to do it and you still haven't done it, so don't get on my case. And then the story kind of shifts to a party boat full of trust fund babies, rich elites that are squanderers of family fortunes and inheritance of now meaningless titles. So taking shots at the wealthy even back then. Those one percenters weren't getting any love in this title. So we kind of just go for a little bit, kind of seeing what they're up to. There's really cool ad pages. But we get into it. It turns out Dracula's on the boat. Dracula makes his big to-do and everything, and he gets ready to do his whole whatever. I think he was going to turn this into like a boat of slaves. Eventually, he gets a lot of people under mind control and all that good stuff. And then my man Blade, seemingly out of nowhere, shows up and foils it. So they actually get into a really awesome tussle in this book. Like they go back and forth, and Dracula's kind of playing with him. In all sincerity, Blade did not like beast mode this man. Dracula kind of tosses him around, talks trash to him, but the whole time Blade's talking smack right back. And it was very, very interesting to see that it kind of talks about how only 3 times in Dracula's life has he ever been talking to like this. And one was by the person who turned him into a vampire. The second time when he killed that person. And it credits Dracula Lives number 2 to get that story. And this time being the only other time anyone's ever talked down to Dracula. So Drac goes for him. Blade dips out of the way. Drac goes off the boat, comes back as a vampire, and just completely bests him. He has him dead to rights, about to get him. And then one of his subjects who was under his control just kind of is calling to Dracula, going to Dracula, and people couldn't stop her. So she pretty much interrupts the kill shot by Dracula. And Dracula turns into a bat, tells him on his way out that this boat's rigged to blow so all of y'all can blow with it. So Blade just starts throwing people overboard and telling them to jump, and they all get out of there except for Dracula's minion named Graves, who was begging for Dracula to save him, saying that I've served you well. We can go on as friends, blah, blah, blah. And Drax says, kick rocks, buddy. You were incompetent. You were horrible. And Dracula laughs as he's exploded. And you see the survivors in the water, the little text bubble saying that we are sure to see these two go at it again, that it is not over. So cut to black. Dracula lives. So awesome art. Ads for Foom magazine. Great, great, great issue. It was really fun to read. I had never read a Tomb of Dracula book before. And Tomb of Dracula number 10, the first appearance of Blade. So as you see, they rolled him out really well. He came out swinging. It was a really fun issue to read. It actually read pretty well all these years later. And it's cool to see how he looked back then versus how he looks now. And even more so, what he's going to look like coming up in the current MCU movies. Because we all know, especially for those that saw the Eternals, there's a huge tease for him. And he's going to be played by Mahershala Ali in the upcoming MCU stuff. So I'm excited to see how they play that out and what they do with it. This book is just gaining so much steam and so much traction. According to Go Collect Comics right now, a 2.0 of this comic's fair market value is $500, where a 9.6 is sitting at about $12,500. I checked the eBay prices before I hopped on here, and raw copies are selling upwards of $800 to $1,000 for the nicer looking one. So this book is not one that's easy to get your hands on right now whatsoever. It's not the time to buy with all the hype coming up, but if you do have one, hang on to it, because it's just going to go up as we get closer to Blade's appearance in the MCU. So I appreciate everyone checking it out. Let's give a big thank you to the channel sponsors, Big Time Collectibles, for sponsoring the monthly Legion loot box. as well as Justin Comics, who does all my comic cleaning and pressing over on Instagram. Be sure to use that promo code We Are Legion and get that buy two, get one free offer. Also, a big shout out to all the channel members, 52 members strong. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. If you want to consider becoming a member, just check down below for the blue button that says join. Hit that, a couple of options, see which one fits you best, and become one of the Legionnaires. So until next time, guys, as always, I'm Mark, but we are Legion.